This hearing begins as a probation revocation case, but it quickly becomes a powerful lesson about second chances and personal responsibility. Anthony Mendoza is already serving probation for a third offense DWI, and Judge West
currently on probation for driving while intoxicated, third or more. That was a 6-year sentence that was probated for 6 years. I've received an updated pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, we have.
Are there any additions or corrections to that report?
No, Your Honor.
Not from the state judge.
All right, Mr. Parker, you may proceed.
Well, a couple things I want to address. It's a situation I see quite a bit where he's ordered to have to scram and interlock. It's costing him $600 a month. And he's having to go to work, but yet he's not supposed to drive. And so he's driving with an invalid license. And he's not able to work, and he can't afford to pay for the things, he needs to do, such as the 12-step program, the GED program, all those things require money. And that's one of the big issues. But the things I'm concerned about is that it says that he went to the safety relapse program. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he says he never went to the safety relapse program. I don't know if he was ordered to go and he didn't go, but I think he was in custody at the time, and I'm not sure how that happened. But he also says he's never tested positive for cocaine, which is alleged in here. It addresses an issue that he apparently had with one of the directors of the facility where he became combative. And this also, in turn, is tied to a scram device. He ended up developing a big sore on his ankle, so he would put his sock behind the scram device. And in this incident, he was frustrated, and he wanted to take his boot off to show the director the problem that he had. And that's when they were saying that he was being disruptive. He has no other felonies, Judge, and he wants the opportunity to go back to he wants to complete his probation. He wants to do the safety relapse. I'd like to hear what they say, what happened with that, but I'm sure there's an explanation. And I think you'd also like to address the court, Judge.
Well, let me first make sure I've got the timeline, because it appears that I see that safety he completed and then was placed on zero tolerance in the high-medium caseload. And after that, there was an issue where he was testing positive, again, for alcohol and cocaine, which I understand he denies the cocaine, but that's what this alleges. And in October of 2022, I'm assuming through an administrative hearing, was granted relapse safe-P.
Yes, ma'am. There was a motion to revoke that was filed and came before the court, and he was ordered to go to relapse safe-P, and he absconded, and he never went to relapse.
So he wasn't in custody?
No.
Okay. And then, so we didn't see him again until August 11th of 2023, when he was arrested in Houston. So here's the thing. Whether you probably didn't get any paperwork. Come up here to the front, in the middle here. From at least October of 2022 until August 11th of 2023, you wouldn't have known about anything because you quit going to probation. You were an absconder. And the only reason we found you is because you were arrested in Houston for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And then in May, we get you back here, and you were sanctioned to 180 days in jail. So this is the third time, it looks like to me, that you would have been given an opportunity to remain on probation. Gave you upfront time, continue you on probation. Courtesy supervision was sent to Harris County, and then we have the scram device issues still, alcohol violations, interlock violations, aggressive behavior, ongoing alcohol use. So if you didn't do the relapse safety, it's not anyone's fault other than your own, because if you didn't know about it, it's because you weren't going to probation. Mr. Nichols?
Judge, I think it's pretty clear. He was put on zero tolerance a couple of years ago, and here we are on the second time.
Third.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else we could do. So obviously I agree with the probation department's recommendation for revocation. I think he's had more than enough chances, Judge. In fact, there's just one thing I want to make the court aware of. If I can call Ms. Martinez real
Yeah,
quick.
sure. Ms. Martinez, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Go ahead.
Ms. Martinez, you were supervising, Ms. Mendoza was on Harris County supervision, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were back in October when he started having these violations and the warrant was issued. Did you advise him to turn himself in?
Yes.
And what was his response to you?
He had responded with an email that said, "Ha."
That was his only reply to you. Did I ask you to print me out a copy of that?
Yes.
Showing you what I marked as Exhibit 1 for purposes of this hearing. Is this a copy of the email with his reply to you?
Yes.
I'll tender to the defense attorney, Your Honor. Tender to the court for purposes of
This is the defining moment of the hearing. Judge West explains a key legal principle behind probation. It's not simply about avoiding prison. It's an opportunity that comes with strict responsibilities. The court had previously allowed Anthony Mendoza to remain on probation multiple times despite violations, including treatment opportunities, monitoring, and additional supervision instead of immediate incarceration. But each new violation made continuing probation increasingly difficult to justify. Rather than blaming the monitoring equipment or outside circumstances, Judge West repeatedly brings the discussion back to the defendant's own decisions and repeated alcohol use. Legally, a court may revoke probation when the conditions of supervision are repeatedly violated, especially after multiple chances have already been provided. What do you think? At what point should repeated probation violations outweigh another opportunity for rehabilitation? Let's return to the courtroom for Judge West's final ruling.
To report back to the hearing at that time, because he had tested positive for alcohol and cocaine, the supervisor had recommended complete relapse safety and issue a warrant for his arrest. So he was made aware at that time that he was going to have a warrant and we were requesting relapse safety.
I have no further questions of her, Judge.
Right, anything
I have no
else?
other questions for Ms. Martinez.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez.
I think he wanted to address the court, but we never did because we
Sure.
talked with her.
Go ahead.
Would you like to tell the court? Do you want to tell the court?
Y'all saying I went to safety twice, I never went.
Nobody's saying you went to Safe twice. We're saying you went to
You're saying
Safe Hold on,
absconded?
don't, listen. I'm gonna let you talk, but don't talk over me. We're saying that you went to Safe and then that you were ordered to go to the Safe relapse, but you never came and turned yourself in after that phone call where you were told that there was to be a warrant for your arrest. So no, you never went to Safe relapse. Go ahead.
She said I was supposed to turn myself in. That was after I did the 9 months where felony assault got dropped to a misdemeanor terrorist threat.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was here, y'all let me out. And then I was trying to work and they kept saying that I was messing with the scram device.
Okay.
So I was actually at work and she sent me the message to my phone. And I was trying to work and trying to pay, for the devices and stuff, since they were violating me for operating my truck without court permission.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I just didn't turn myself in.
Right. So did you respond? Is that email? That was
Yes, ma'am.
that's what you thought about all that?
Yes, ma'am, I did actually say that.
You thought that was funny?
It's because I was agitated and I was taking lunch at work, and I was trying to do things, trying to make money to take the classes But with being on the scan device.
Well, you had money to buy alcohol. You had, because you kept drinking, because you kept messing, I mean, Mr. Mendoza, you have been given so many opportunities on this probation, and I understand that those things are expensive. However, if you had at any time stopped testing positive and having blood alcohol readings that were positive on those things, then you could have eventually gotten off of those. I don't keep people on those for very long. But the reason we had to keep doing it for you is because you kept drinking. You kept messing up. And so you don't get to say, I kept messing up. I mean, seriously, you got the initial probation in 2021. You got you got SafeP. You got some upfront time because of the Harris County issue. Didn't revoke you, haven't revoked you. 3 times haven't revoked you. And here we are with all of these violations.
Through the TDCJ program, I was doing what I needed. The only time I had issues when I had the foot problem that I got from the halfway house. That's the only reason they said I absconded from the TDCJ program.
Okay.
I've actually done well through the program, through with the supervised division. The only time I messed up is when they stopped supervising me and made me go do these things by myself.
Well, I mean, how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 43.
43 years old.
And I have no felonies on my record except for this.
That doesn't mean anything. You have this felony and you have 6 years hanging over your head. And you've been given all the tools. You went to SafeP. You got aftercare. At some point, you have to take those tools and do for yourself and not come in and say, well, they made me do it for myself, so it's somebody else's fault that I kept drinking. We gave you the tools.
If I can go
We're done.
through
At this,
another
we're done.
safety again,
No, we're done.
let me kiss
At
my
the-
ass.
Mr. Mendoza, turn around. You can say whatever you want, but you're going to face me and you're going to get your sentence. And if at this time I could give you more, I would, I promise you, but I can't. So I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1 through 13 freely and voluntarily. Find those counts true. Find sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, and at this time revoke your probation. Sentence you to 6 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time.
By the end of the hearing, Judge West determines that probation is no longer appropriate after reviewing the defendant's repeated violations, failure to comply with supervision requirements, and history of continued alcohol-related problems while on probation. The court revokes Anthony Mendoza's probation after finding the admitted violations true and imposes the original 6-year prison sentence for driving while intoxicated, third or more. Judge West also advises the defendant of his right to appeal before concluding the proceeding. Throughout the hearing, the judge emphasizes that probation is designed to provide structure, treatment, and an opportunity for change, but those opportunities must ultimately be matched by consistent compliance and personal accountability. If you found this case as intense as we did, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful courtroom breakdowns.